Alex Answer here for July 8th, 2015, with a brief economic news update. So this morning we saw the New York Stock Exchange go down for a period of 4 hours. It just came back recently. There's some sort of a technical glitch. They don't say it was the result of a cyber attack. That's also the same thing they said in relation to United Airlines, and well over 500,000 travelers, perhaps much more than that, stranded at airports across America because of some glitch with the computer system at United Airlines. We talked yesterday about the U.S. Mint making an announcement that they're not going to be selling the silver ounces of American Eagle silver coins, that they're sold out for the next 2 weeks. Another coin producer, silver coin manufacturer, has echoed that announcement as well. They're going to be out for at least a few weeks or a few months. Silver prices are low. Gold prices are low. A 5-year low for silver. Some say 6-year low. I've become aware of the cycles of gold and silver recently, and how the period that we're in looks like a bottom out cycle, a cycle where there's a lot of price suppression. And from here, let me just make a couple points here. It's the concentration of things happening at the same time. With China's stock market being devalued, 30% loss, and they actually stepped in to freeze trading. And so you have that taking place as all of a sudden, no more silver. Record demand for silver, especially the American silver coins, but the price of silver is not, reflected in that demand. What I wonder is if someone in China or someone in power made a phone call to the U.S. Mint to secure their own supply of silver. Perhaps that's too much speculating, but the timing of it, the stock market situation with China, combined with what's happening at the U.S. Mint, and then we wake up this morning and we read about these technical glitches with United Airlines and the New York Stock Exchange. Now, the stock market was still trading, NASDAQ was still functioning, but people also may note of several websites that were down, at least at one point or another. The Wall Street Journal, I also heard Zero Hedge mentioned, and several silver sites, JM Bullion, and a few others were down yesterday. And today, some other silver websites that are in the business of buying and selling silver, including generic bullion and their own particular coins that they produce. Some of those websites are not functioning today very well. And so that could just be a result of just high demand or a lot of people visiting their site. I don't know. But that is a brief report on some of the things that I'm hearing and some of the things that are taking place, and a lot of forecasts for a manufactured strong dollar. All in line, all in time for Amazon's Prime Week, which, you look this way, you look that way, you're seeing ads for Amazon. And in looking at the ads for Amazon, we're watching some of the reports where they talked about Amazon's Prime Day. They make sure to give product placement to Alibaba, the American media pimping Alibaba, which, you take a look at this Chinese supplier, which is owned by Jack Ma, who in a big way appears to be a puppet of the CCP. What about the possibility of Alibaba becoming so huge, even though they have a stock devaluation right now? That doesn't mean it's the end of Alibaba. I think quite the opposite. When you're seeing the media actually drop Alibaba's name, oh, but it looks like Amazon with their Prime Days, they're trying to be like Alibaba with Singles Days. And I watched multiple anchors do that. I'm like, okay, they are pushing Alibaba. It's not so much a competitor to Amazon. The question is, what role will Alibaba play down the line as it acquires more U.S. land? They are expanding some headquarters on the West Coast in Seattle, and they're moving in on land in upstate New York. Could Alibaba be a front for something else, knowing its close connection, Jack Ma's close connection to the Chinese government. Jack Ma would not be where he is today unless the Chinese government made sure that there wasn't substantial competition for Jack Ma. So, pay attention to these massive buys of U.S. land in the United States. A couple years ago, people were talking about these economic development zones, these proposed economic development zones, like in Idaho, where there was a proposal for 40 to 50 square miles that the Chinese would be leasing. They'd have their own self-sustaining city. A lot of attention was drawn to that almost plan between then governor of Idaho, Butch Otter, and a Chinese delegation. It was squashed. Those particular plans never went forward, but other things have gone forward quietly without much fuss at all. You know, because it's just become so normalized. Reading reports in Portland, Oregon, $500,000 wealthy Chinese can have a visa here in the United States as long as they invest in fresh real estate in some of the hottest markets in the United States. And for real estate, Portland happens to be one of them. So we bring our conversation, though, back down to silver. I'm holding now 10 ounces of this Amark 10-ounce gold bar. And I am also holding on to some Sunshine Mint 1-ounce coins, as well as the 1-ounce Buffaloes. I am awaiting my American Eagles. I agree with others that have made suggestions to diversify one's portfolio and to not look at silver as, and not have a religious experience with it. But to look at it as an investment, as safeguarding, it feels good to do it and to get in when it's low. And I have not discounted the possibility that it's going to get much, much lower, and that this could be happening for reasons that some people haven't even proposed yet, that are really into the idea of the silver that they're holding on to or stacking becoming valuable one day. Oftentimes, people's belief systems can shield us from certain things that maybe we don't want to look at. There are other things that are also being debated, how much silver actually is out there. We know that there is a certain amount of mining companies, but some of those mining companies are taking a loss. You know, there's a lot of things that we don't know. And by the way, this is 1/10 of an ounce silver. And I made sure to get a roll of that as well. So I am monitoring what's going on with that, what's going on with Greece. As they mentioned before in other videos, I think that there is some sort of plan for Greece and their society, as well as other countries in Europe. So when I look at Alexis, when I look at the former Prime Minister of Greece, I see evil in these men. I see men that have been compromised. You know, like they're reading a page from the book from Confessions of an Economic Hitman by John Perkins, but they're literally playing that role deliberately to get their country into debt, to walk away from it, and allow for the next situation, allow for the next domino to fall. So things are looking real interesting right now. It's a good time to be working towards an off-the-grid reality at some point for myself in the future. The quinoa garden, I'm investing some time in my mental health and health by not living in the city at this particular point in my life, and having a garden and spending time outside and writing a couple of websites. Check out World War Zero, that's the number 0.com. Check out the all-new alexansary.tv. It's got some playlists organized from videos I've done over the years, and I'll be back with more commentary on what's going on, what I'm seeing economically, and what's going on geopolitically, and other things that I feel like sharing. Alex Ansary, sign off from Southern Colorado.